I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. 2 adults and an infant are hospitalized following a head-on crash in Palm Coast Wednesday morning, John Arking reports.
Authorities say the collision occurred at the intersection of Old Kings Road and State Road 100 just before 9:30 a.m. A mother had just dropped off her child at Old Kings Elementary and was driving a blue Ford Focus north on Old Kings Road when an older man driving a gray Dodge Charger approached as he headed south. Our preliminary investigation indicates the Focus was making a left turn to go west on State Road 100 when it was struck by the Charger. The crash blocked the eastbound lanes of SR 100. An infant in the Focus was not injured, but as a precaution was transported to Advent Health Palm Coast along with the 2 drivers. Assisting at the scene were Flagler County Fire Rescue, the Palm Coast Fire Department and Palm Coast Fire Police, Flagler County Sheriff's Office, and the Florida Highway Patrol, which has taken over the investigation. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arking.
This portion of Flagler's Morning News brought to you by the Daytona Beach International Airport, Delta Airlines nonstop to Atlanta, and now nonstop service to New York City via American Airlines.
Voluntary HPV vaccines won't be going out to 6th graders in Flagler schools just yet. The school board sent the initiative back to the health department, urging them to gauge parental support for the vaccine. The measure came just shy of 1 vote from passing, with school board member Colleen Conklin seeking more input. School board members Andy Dance and Trevor Tucker were for it, while Maria Barbosa and Janet McDonald were against it. The health department was urged to use the community problem solvers to determine whether the vaccine is something parents feel their kids need in school. Conklin believes parents can get their children vaccinated for HPV at the doctor's office like they do everything else. But the health department notes that school-based immunization programs improve public health by upping vaccination rates. Flagler County health administrators add because HPV doesn't have visible symptoms, it's a silent epidemic that causes tens of thousands of cases of cancer every year. One of the longest-serving members of the Flagler County School Board is stepping down, but he's not stepping away from public service. Andy Dance wants to run for county commission for Charlie Erickson's seat after he said he wouldn't run for re-election. Dance says it's the right time for him to announce his resignation. He'll step down in November of 2020.
I felt that a parent's perspective on the board was needed, and was able to follow my 3 students through elementary, middle, and high school. My youngest is a senior at FPC, so this allows me to follow him through his senior year and hand him his diploma.
Dance tells WNZF he's running for the District 1 seat to ensure that Flagler remains a great place to live and work.
Balance in development and overall balance in your tax base, and those are things that are out of whack. We should always keep to the forefront the natural beauty that we have in Flagler County and the tourism draw that we have in the beaches and our natural resources. We need development, but it has to be smart. We need additional commercial tax base.
Dance's wife also works for the county as a key staffer for County Administrator Jerry Cameron. It's unclear whether she'd stay in that role if Andy Dance is elected.
We've talked about active shooter drills, but in a real active shooter situation, how fast does help arrive?
Chris Peterson, Flagler County's Homeland Security Director, says some of the most recent information suggests that in a given situation, it takes about 4 minutes.
I'm referring here to a study by the United States Secret Service National Threat Assessment Center from last year, so it's very fresh data from 2018, and they studied 27 attacks. In 63% of those cases, the attack was over in 5 minutes or less.
Peterson said that's because the shooter either shot him or herself or just left the situation. Sheriff Rick Staley said his deputies get to situations within minutes because they're all in different places.
So our deputies are assigned to different sectors throughout the city and the county, which has allowed us to reduce our response times on emergency calls to less than 4 minutes.
Staley said that nothing takes precedence over an active shooter.
The reality is that if it is an emergency call, everything else waits. And an active assailant, that's going to be your number 1 priority call.
You can hear the full interview on the Free for All Friday podcast. It's the Flagler Radio app. So download the Flagler Radio app today. Tomorrow, what does the County Homeland Security Director do? More with Chris Peterson. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.